When you're strange, and then you hear the guitar go, what? We made a pilgrimage to Popeyes during the holy time of the chicken sandwich when it first came out. It's a banger. We made a pilgrimage to Popeyes. It's a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. Get it?
What's up, guys? Welcome to Otoconia Radio, Sounds to Your Ear Rocks. I'm Connor, and we are joined by the legendary and the secretive Chris.
Yes. Chris is my Starbucks name. I'm not giving away my identity to the internet.
All right, Chris, thank you for showing up to Otoconia. The first part is I gas up the guest, so I give you like a little clout, and then we jump in.
Oh, okay.
You ready for a gassing?
Oh, you gassed me up? Oh my gosh. All right, I'm ready for it, dude.
Dude, I almost keep saying your real name too, so if I dox you.
Yo, you know what you can do? You can just like go back and just bleep out my name like a swear reel, you know.
Every time I say Chris, it'll go beep.
Yeah, exactly.
So my man Chris, I've known you for 3 years now. Dude, you were one of those people that you're just fun to be around, man. You have the energy. You're a little raver boy. You got the dance moves. Always a good time when it's hanging out, man.
I don't remember dancing in front of you guys.
We had some stints in the city. The boys hit the big city.
Oh my god,
dude, the moves. Anyway, Chris, I'm very excited to have you. Thanks for joining us. We were doing a bonus episode, so no hurrah here, just you and me. And
one-on-one. All right.
One-on-one, dude. Pull up a chair. Let's get ready. So the guest on a bonus episode always picks the album. And Chris, you picked the amazing album Strange Days by The Door.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to give a quick overview before I show off my research, or do you want me to just jump right into it?
Oh, no, jump into your research. Yeah, you know more than I do.
All right.
I just love good music. That's about it.
That's why we have you here, man. So Strange Days is the second studio album by the American rock band The Doors, released on September 25th, 1967. Dude, it's an oldie, man. It's in that beautiful period of the late 60s and 70s. Upon release, the album reached number 3 on the US Billboard 200 and eventually earned platinum certification. It contains the top 30 hit singles, People Are Strange and Love Me 2 Times, which our expert here, Chris, picked out for us to talk about. So amazing. The name of the band, The Doors, is actually a reference to Aldous Huxley. Did they make you read that in high school, Chris?
Oh, no, I don't read.
Good. He's like an existential philosopher / writer, and he had an essay / book called The Doors of Perception. So it's a reference to that. And it's about Aldous Huxley's experience with mescaline. So,
oh, wow.
Very interesting. So in contrast to the 1966 sessions, producer Paul Rothschild and engineer Bruce Botnick put a cutting-edge 8-track recording machine. So this was like really different with how they recorded the music and how they were able to manipulate it. And it was inspired by the album Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. They had an advanced copy of the album, were able to listen to it, and apparently they were, quote, absolutely flipping out. And so they wanted to follow in their example and pursue new techniques in recording. So very interesting. Unlike the first album, The Doors, Strange Days incorporates various instruments, including marimba, the Moog synthesizer, which that goes over my head, which has been described as one of the first uses of synth in rock music history. So pretty cool. Chris, a very historic album you got here. And so some of the genres that it's been kind of termed, so either acid rock, psychedelic pop, psychedelic rock. Barney Hosky called it post-psychedelic pop. It's very interesting. The album cover is photographed by Joel Brodsky and depicts a group of street performers in New York. The location of the photograph is at Sniffen Court, a residential alley next to East 36th Street between Lexington and 3rd Avenue, Manhattan. Funny enough, they didn't have like a full set of like street performers, so they just like called over a taxi dude, gave him $5 and was like, yo, hold this trumpet.
Just threw him in the middle, a random bystander. He probably didn't even realize who's going to be on the cover of history at this point.
No. Can you imagine just being some taxi driver like, gotta get back to my taxi. Like, you guys do it on the street.
Absolutely not. You got to make these $5 right now.
So, Chris, why did you pick this album?
So this album is just one of those that kind of resonated with me because, you know, back when I was a young boy, because now I'm an old man, of course, when I was a young boy and I was learning the guitar and everything, this was the first album my mind kind of jumped to. Love Me 2 Times was one of the first songs I learned. And Moonlight Drive, when the music's over, completely resonated with me. Those were the first songs I tried to learn and tried to play on the guitar. So that's why I picked this one, a bit of nostalgia.
Dude, I really love the long format songs they do on some of their albums. Like on the first album, The Doors, you have like the end, which is like 15 minutes. And then when the music is over is also 10 minutes. Dude, they
Yeah,
go
you
into
just never reach the end. That's the problem with that song.
dude, they go into some epic, just progressive rock tangents, which is amazing.
Oh yeah.
When was the first time you heard this album?
Yeah, first time I heard this was middle school. Luckily for me, like I had older siblings, so my older cousins that I live with, that were just well educated in music. I wasn't listening to mainstream things at that point. They were kind of just throwing classic rock and the oldies at me. So that's kind of why I got that influence really early on, is from them. So I got to thank them for that.
Amazing. What is your favorite Doors song?
Oh, Love Me Two Times, easily.
Okay.
That's the classic one. It's a banger. It's a banger. It hits so differently than any other classic rock song, and I do not know why.
I'll never forget some of the favorite times with you, Chris, is when we ride in your car. And I just remember one moment in particular, we were going to a gas station and you were just bumping some Van Halen. Like, you've always had a good appreciation of the oldies, man.
Dude, it's not going to be a normal day. We're not blasting Van Halen at 8 in.
No.
I'm going to put it that way.
All right, man. Last interview question. Why does this music, classic rock, psychedelic rock, music from the 60s, 70s, why does it hold such a legacy and relevance today? What kind of connects people of our generation to it?
Without realizing it, I feel like that kind of music influenced the music that's produced now. You could honestly draw roots back to, pretty much every corner of classic rock that influences the music today, even in ways that you wouldn't even expect it. Like, I'll put it this way, even in rap, certain oldie parts are sampled and just revamped and revitalized with new effects. You kind of have to do some digging to find those kinds of things out.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think that's a really great point. All right, man, let's get right into it. So today we are doing a select pick of Chris's favorite songs from the album. So we're just gonna go in kind of this random order and hit your favorite songs. You ready?
Word, yeah, let's go.
All right, Love Me Two Times. Break this down, Chris.
Oh, do you want me to explain?
Whatever you want, man. Anything you gotta talk about on this song? Anything you feel, the music, whatever you want, man.
It's funny because the way Robbie Krieger kind of wrote the song, it just starts out with a really strange guitar trill sort of. Learning that song, there's a couple strings that you hit at first, and then there's a weird trill you do with your finger. And for some reason, I could never ever get it right. I do not know why. So the one thing I would think about with this song is, how the hell does Robbie get the trill every single time if they played this live? Like, this man's got fingers that just blast left and right.
Yeah, it's interesting. The inspiration for this song was about the Doors going on the road and also American soldiers going to Vietnam. So the theme of this album, and it's a lot of the themes Krieger said, is sex is a way to survive strange times.
Huh, one way to put it.
So a weird kind of inspiration for this album, which I don't know how exactly it relates to the art of street performers on the cover and a taxi driver with a trumpet, but hey, that's what we got to work with today, man.
I wish I was that taxi driver. You have no idea what I'd give. That'd be the funniest thing.
Dude, I think also part of the the trill you're talking about is it's also enhanced because the final version of this song is played with a harpsichord.
Oh, wow.
So it's this kind of weird alternate piano that does these weird vibration sounds. So that's also kind of part of I think the funky kind of guitar.
Because I'm not terrible at guitar. Then it really wasn't my fault at this point. That's what you're trying to say.
Dude, I know you've been doing those finger exercises since you were a small child.
I'm not saying anything, bro. Oh my god, I'm being ousted.
Oh man. Also, notably of this song too, the vocals are so bluesy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Some songs, there's different identities to a lot of these different songs in this album, which is really cool. But this song in general just reminds you of an old blues song,
Oh yeah, and they do it so right. You wouldn't expect, even with a keyboard, you wouldn't expect keyboard to be in the blues.
Yeah, and we're talking about with the lyrics and the themes, it's kind of right out of a blues song, talking about going away or love, a lot of those tropes that are used in old blues music.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, this is the one wartime song that should have ended up in Apocalypse Now or Full Metal Jacket or something.
Oh man,
they robbed the Doors of this one.
Apparently when that movie came out, it was the craziest thing ever, that Apocalypse Now.
Oh yeah, everyone watched that high on acid. If you're not tripping balls, in the middle of a movie theater in the 70s watching that, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, shout out to you.
The drug veterans.
Amazing. All right, man. Any other last comments on Love Me Two Times?
No, hope you enjoyed as much as I do.
All right. If you're listening to the Spotify, we have multiple platforms, Chris, so bear with me here. If you are listening to the Spotify version of the podcast, you'll hear the song right now. If you are listening on YouTube, we're just chugging along, dude. We're not stopping. We just keep going. Can't fight those
got no
copyright
brakes.
laws. No, dude. No brakes on the train, Chris.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, let's get going, dude. We got things to do.
Dude, let's get into Moonlight Drive. Also, shout out to everyone who knows quote unquote Chris, because it's gonna be hilarious watching this, having to call you Chris the entire time.
God, dude. My Starbucks name is good. All right. I don't know why you guys are giving me such a hard time about
it. It's a good one. Should I tell my my Popeyes nickname?
Oh my God, absolutely. You should change your name actually to that.
Do you want me to tell the story or do you want to get into it?
Oh, I would love to tell it. Okay. So basically, we made a pilgrimage to Popeyes during the holy time of the chicken sandwich when it first came out. Yep. And so we were making our first journey there. And literally, Connor's in line. He puts his order in front of us. We didn't think anything about it. Yeah. For some reason, the cashier must have just misheard Connor. And so
I remember her going, "Oh, like the movie star." And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. There must be some movie star named Connor out there. All right.
Yeah. So Connor's just like, yeah, my name is Connor. Put my name on the order. And so when we like sit down and we're waiting for orders to be called, she just yells Cooter on the microphone.
And let's make this clear too. Chris has a very Greek name. Spelled and pronounced his name perfectly. We were with another friend. Shout out, you know who you are listening. A very ethnic name, hard to spell, multiple letters. Christine on Chris Christine. And our other friends, spelling. But Connor somehow got turned into Cooter, and this poor Popeyes worker just comes to the middle of the lobby and goes, "Order 26 for Cooter."
The fact that this cashier transcended through like ethnic background, cultural barriers, just got me and the other person's name perfectly correct with pronunciation on point. And then he messed up Connor. I don't know how you do that, dude. It was like the easiest thing you could have done.
So Chris, at one point in time, made me a coffee mug that says Cooter on it, and I still have it to this day. I used it this morning. So
bless.
Anyway, Moonlight Drive. Let's get back on track. This train's not stopping, Chris. We're going.
Oh yeah, we're going, baby. We're going.
All right, Moonlight Drive. What do you think?
Moonlight Drive. This is where the keyboard really comes in beautifully. This is one of those Doors songs where what's his name? Ray Manzarek. Yeah, Ray Manzarek just takes the reins and he just goes. I love it. The riffs are beautiful.
It's awesome. This is actually the first song that was written by Jim Morrison too.
Really?
The very first one. It didn't make it on the first album, self-titled The Doors, because they weren't happy with it. But it's the very first song he wrote. And apparently when he showed it off to like the rest of the band, they're like, holy crap, like we got something here. So that's like what started this all off.
That's really funny. I didn't realize that was the first song.
It's also sweet too, because I love the slide guitar on it. Like there's kind of this off rhythm slide guitar that adds this like weird psychedelic kind of quality to it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to be honest with you, half this music was made to be, losing your mind and tripping balls. So they have to make something that kind of flows in with that.
Amazing. Also, I think the lyrics of this song, I kind of want to dive into them because they're like really interesting. It's almost like essentially a poem he wrote about comparing like the vibe of the city to the ocean. And I don't know if you have the lyrics up right now, but I was kind of thinking like, what were your thoughts on it? Because man, there's some like really good imagery. He's talking about like swimming to the moon, talking about the tide, and then he kind of connects it back to like his evening and like their moonlight drive. So almost kind of this like idyllic drive along the ocean, which I thought was just really cool kind of imagery for a rock song.
Yeah, I heard, there's a lot of, I don't know if this is true, but, I heard from my older siblings and my older relatives that there's like a lot of influence that Jim Morrison had while he was in Santa Barbara down in Southern California. He would just do a lot of drugs on the beach, of course, as you do in the 70s and the 60s. And basically he was watching all the oil rigs that they have out on the water, and you could see the lights at night. And, obviously when you're under the influence of things and you're seeing really insane, vivid imagery, you're seeing lights flicker in the distance on top of the water on like basically mini planets just floating around, sucking up, oil from the sea. Like your mind's going to be racing it. You're going to get creative as hell with all that. So I think he had a lot of material to work with. A lot of these things, you kind of got to be in the right headspace and in the right location and time to really come up with art and really come up with, really far out ideas.
Yeah, I think that's awesome that you bring that up, because I was going to discuss on some of the future songs. Jim Morrison's a pretty interesting character. I know, like in music history, his death and the whole mystique and mystery, it was quite the icon. But what really doesn't get discussed is almost kind of like the perspective in which he made all this art. Like you said, drugs were a huge part of it, but also his mental health was huge in the inspiration for a lot of these songs. And what you described was such a scenic environment, watching the oil rigs, the lights on the water. But he also struggled with this like really deep and major depression. So he was always kind of bouncing around between, these moods of, being kind of stuck in his like cycle of mental health, but also being able to experience these beautiful things in nature. And so some of the band members, when he was really down, would be like, hey, we got to get outside. We got to go for a walk. And that's where he would write some of his like best songs. So a really interesting like juxtaposition between, his internal depression and like beauty in the outer world. So
I didn't realize he was struggling with all that. I mean, to put more like thought into all this, I remember his dad, I think, was in the military, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's very interesting about those kinds of relationships because, when your parents are of a certain pedigree and when they're, at a certain level of success in life, I guess in the social ladder, like certain things are expected of you. And so if you don't meet those expectations, you have an internal conflict, maybe that could have played a role into, how he viewed himself and how he viewed the world. I know that same things happen with a lot of other musicians. I can give you an example. I mean, Gangstar from the 90s, one of the rappers, his dad was a judge and he's out here singing about, being a gangbanger. So there's just like interesting things to keep in mind. It kind of just affects their self-image and that really plays out in their art.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, an example that comes to mind is John Denver and his father. John Denver's father was like no messing around kind of guy. He lived in an era when the men were men and the sheep were sheep. And John Denver's dad thought he was a dirty hippie. He was like, yo, what are you doing with this guitar? Like, why are you sleeping on the beach? Like, what are you doing? Cut your hair. And then John Denver wrote in his bibliography, he was like, the first time I could buy like an airplane and took my dad like flying with me, he like finally understood what this was about, like the love of the music and all that. So just another cool example of what you brought up with the military background.
Dude, I love it.
All right, man. Anything else on this song, Moonlight Drive?
Come on the drive with us,
dude. You're on the drive right now. Otoconia Radio, Moonlight for your ear rocks. You're about to hear Moonlight Drive. If you're on YouTube, let's get right into the next one. Alrighty, people are strange, man.
People are strange. I mean, the title says it all. It really isn't the name. Proof is in the pudding here.
I'll take this one away since we're just talking about this. So early in 1967, Jim Morrison was exhibiting symptoms of depression, and at behest of the guitarist Robbie Krieger, they hiked to Laurel Canyon to watch the sunset. And Jim Morrison came up with the lyrics, people are strange. It's about alienation. And yeah, this is what we were just talking about with, how kind of the mental health and the, beautiful scenes of nature really inspired his work. So what do you think about this song?
That's cool. It's a banger. I mean, simple as that. I love the guitar in this one. Robbie Krieger takes it away.
It's a really wacky song because, Jim Morrison's coming from this like place of depression and this like strange feeling of alienation. But the guitar is so upbeat that it just like feels very strange. It doesn't like feel like right almost.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it doesn't really fit, the name of the game and even the album in general. But plays beautifully for me. So I don't really know what to say about that.
It's great. I think it's definitely an artistic decision to kind of depict that sense of alienation and that fluctuation between depression and observing nature and writing these beautiful pieces of art.
Well, even besides that, just to add, I mean, what I've noticed a lot with the Doors is that their music is kind of all over the place, and they're really constantly changing ideas all the time. I mean, to pay homage to another album, "Light My Fire" was supposed to be a slow song, and then somehow they got together and were like, "Nah, banger! We're gonna make this one a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. It's smack. It's gonna be spitting flames out of your speakers. This isn't gonna be no slow song." So I don't know. They could just go really fickle on the material that they have, and they can make whatever they want.
I agree, man. When you go from Moonlight Drive to this song, complete 180s. Like you would not expect them to be back to back, let alone on the same album.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And I think that kind of reflects the whole album itself. It's called Strange Days, based off of loosely the song, right? And so it's kind of just a strange collection of like different genres, influences, inspirations. It's a really interesting album all the way through.
Yeah, I would agree.
Let's see. What are your favorite lyrics from this song, man?
People are strange. It's just the part when he's like, "When you're strange," and then you hear the guitar go, "What?" I don't know why. It's just that little tick. It's just like it's a niche. It just fits so nicely.
That's awesome, man. I love the chorus when your strange faces come out of the rain. Probably a reference to what we were talking about before that, like psychedelic kind of influence.
Oh yeah, for
Seeing
sure.
faces pop out of the rain,
For sure. Gorillas in the mist, dude. They're just cruising up. All the hidden tendencies that you have that are just not on the surface, they're now on the surface.
It sounds like something you'd say when you're on Nam, one of those boats, like, yo, gorillas in the mist, and then you look off into the distance and say nothing else.
That's like something you say when you're patrolling the Mekong Delta. I definitely agree.
You're an old soul, man. You were someone else in another life, man. Oh shoot, did I just say your name? I have to beep it out.
I was like, we'll bleep that part out.
Yeah.
Chris, you mean Chris?
Chris.
We're gonna make that a game. Figure out my name at the end of all this.
Dude, we're getting too silly goosey in here. I'm losing the fake names.
Oh, dude, we're losing cohesion. I don't know.
I couldn't work at Starbucks, man.
You can work at Popeyes.
I think I'm banned from Popeyes now after that Cooter incident.
Oh man, I still can't believe it happened.
Oh man. All right. Any last comments on People Are Strange?
Oh no.
All right, let's hit it. My Eyes Have Seen You. Out of the song picks that you have selected, this one's my favorite. There's something about this song where it's just such a, like, the opening riff is so hard driving that you're immediately like, all right, like, what's going on? There's like a sense of urgency it almost builds with that, like, opening riff.
Oh yeah. I mean, this whole thing is just about evoking emotion and just putting power into music. That's what I got out of it.
It like when you keep saying banger.
It's a banger. It's a banger. It's a banger.
I know we've said that every song's a banger, but this is
a banger.
This is a banger.
This is a straight up banger. Yeah.
Next time we're going to the gas station, man, this better be blaring.
All right, Cooter. All right, we're gonna do it. Pull up shotgun, load this bad boy up. We're gonna do it.
Cooter and Chris coming to a city near you. Yeah, man. Also, the lyrics, some of the lines on here is awesome. Like, gazing on a city under television skies. Television skies, like, what is that even trying to convey, Is it, like, idyllic? Is it artificial? I don't even know, man. Could be interpreted in so many ways.
To be honest, we'll never know. It's a shame the guy died so soon. A lot of meaning behind those lyrics that we probably won't ever pull up.
Truly poetic, He's going, my eyes have seen you. Eyes have seen you, let them photograph your soul. Memorize your alleys on an endless roll. Like,
Cooter, I'd photograph your soul as well, brother.
The essence, the beauty of Cooter is pure. But yeah, I mean, this song's amazing, man. I would love to learn this one on the guitar. This is such a fun riff.
Oh yeah. So we got this covered. This is an actual banger. It's a banger. It's a banger. They're all bangers. We said banger. This one is banger.
We need a differentiation. We need a scale of bangers. Like, one's fire, one's ablazed, one's burning.
This one smacks. It slaps.
Amazing. Alrighty, we're rolling through these, men. Any other last comments on My Eyes Have Seen You?
No. Get up and jump around to this one.
Alrighty, we're rolling through fast. Like I said, man, this train has no stops. This will be a fast bonus episode, but hey, maybe we'll do the rest of the album sometime.
Word. You have my number. We'll get it.
I got your number, Chris. In my contact book as Chris.
As Chris, of course, yes. Which is my name.
All right, the finale, when the music is over. Dude, this song, we got some unpacking to do. There's some weird prophetic lyrics in this one. Give me your overall impression, first of all.
This one, it's just so drawn out with so much, empty space in between licks, in between, lines, in between beats. It gives you space to kind of fill it with your mind. There's like this whole theory about horror movies being scariest when, there's silence. Like, you let your mind fill in the blank. And that's what I think is the beauty about this song. There's like a lot of poetic pauses, but everything is intentional and it's there for you to play with on your own.
That's amazing, man. I never even considered that. That's a good kind of aspect for this song. Have you heard about the 1970 Isle of Wight performance?
No.
So they played this song live and it was their last performance together. It was kind of an interesting performance because it's like super famous. I think they have videos of it, but the band didn't know they had to bring their own lighting. So they played in like pitch blackness because there was like no stage lighting. And this became one of their most famous concerts. So John Densmore said, playing the song was intense. I had to take a deep breath before playing it because it's not a little 3-minute pop ditty. And oh boy, is he right, it's not a 3-minute pop ditty.
Yeah. You sit there and you drag it out. I can imagine all that in the dark. You have no idea where the stage is. You're like trying to figure out what to do. You're trying not to fall off the stage if you're playing. If I was Robbie, I would have like stood completely still. I'm not moving anywhere.
Yeah, apparently they were saying Jim Morrison was like in a kind of a crazy mood before the concert, but he just came out on stage and just like stood there with the microphone like perfectly still and just belted out these songs. So apparently the band like remembers this as one of their like legendary performances.
Word, the more you know.
All right, let's get into the lyrics on this one because this one's pretty crazy. Definitely some good interpretation we can have here. So the first part, right? Somehow when the music's over, the music is your special friend, dance on fire as it intends. So we see a lot of like existential themes in this music. You know, the band's named after Huxley. And Jim Morrison was an avid reader of Nietzsche. So I did some good research on this one, digging. And a lot of people theorize that this song is about death and like finding meaning in life. And so he's talking about, you know, when the music's over, you know, dance because the music's playing right now. And so I think Jim Morrison is describing the music as what's meaningful in life, you know, what's there to live for, you know, find your thing that you're passionate about and dance like you're on fire. So I think that's really kind of like the opening, you know, part of the song, building this, you know, anticipation. What do you think?
I think it's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of there to just fill in the blanks. And in this case, the blank is life.
Ooh, good. I give you snaps, dude. We have an ongoing joke that whenever someone says something deep, we have to give them snaps.
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome. And then, yeah, the next part of the song kind of, you know, shifts. He says, you know, cancel my subscription to the resurrection, send my credentials to the house of detention. I got some friends inside. So kind of that Nietzsche. I know that he's an angsty little teen in this one, dude.
Oh, man.
He's like, you know, take your religion and get out of here, dude. I'm going to the house of detention with my homies.
Oh, for real. My boy is going against the system. Oh, my goodness.
So kind of interesting, too. Like, you know, we're talking about death. And he's like, you know what? I don't care. I'm not looking to get into heaven. I just want to, like, you know, dance until the music's over. So kind of this, you know, existential rejection of the fear of death.
Yeah. That's an interesting response to it. Most people kind of just, like, curl up in despair. He's just throwing the finger.
Dude, the next part is probably the best lyric of all time. The scream. I want to hear the scream of the butterfly.
Do butterflies even scream?
No,
dude. How do you know this for sure? Do we have like a butterfly expert on the line that we can call?
Dude,
butterflies scream.
I don't even know if they have lungs, dude.
Oh my god, do they even make sound? They have to have lungs, man. They're flying around all day.
I mean, maybe they just absorb like oxygen. I don't know, man. We don't know anything about butterflies, bro.
Dude, I know they do some weird things. There was that one dude. Oh, I forgot his name. He has like a TikTok. Forgive me for using TikTok in the first place, but he has that TikTok of weird animal facts, and apparently butterflies will like drink the blood of dead animals. Like they're really weird. They'll do things where they'll fly up to some animals, irritate their eyes, and just like drink the tears out of their eyes. Like these things are wild.
You've been watching too much Alex Jones, dude. Butterflies drinking blood and eating tears, man. What are these savages doing, dude?
Oh no, with Alex Jones, I think lizard people would also be involved. Hillary Clinton somehow would be remote controlling all the butterflies. So I don't know. I'm just saying, butterflies are weird, man. Screams, who knows? Creepy shit with their, you know, antennas and stuff. Who knows? I don't know.
Dude, SpongeBob was on something deep back in the day when they made that episode about the butterfly.
Oh, which one was about the butterfly?
Oh, remember like
yes, it was in the bubble, and the thing was terrifying everybody.
Dude, and it kept like going into that close like upshot of like the bug eyes where it's going and like they like close in on it.
Dude, you unlocked a new memory in my mind. Like I totally forgot about that episode.
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, that's what this is all about, man. SpongeBob, the scream of the butterfly.
Oh yeah. The real poet here.
Dude, if it affects SpongeBob, dude, it's like ingrained in our culture. So what you were talking about before about this old music still influencing the present.
SpongeBob's can influence the future as well. I agree.
Crazy stuff. Anyway, yeah, scream of the butterfly. Butterflies don't scream to my knowledge. And like the interpretation there is he wants to see like chaos, like something just out of the ordinary, something like as what we thought was pure and delightful, like a butterfly. This was before I knew about the blood sucking and the tears. But he wanted to see like
look this up. Fact check me on that. I'm telling you, these things are fucking weird. Butterflies do the strangest things. You would never believe it.
Dude, during this episode, I'm just gonna cut the video at this point and like put up an anatomy slide of butterflies.
Oh, do it. Like, answer the existential question of, do they have lungs? Do these fuckers yell? What do they do? Hey, man, I need some answers now at this point. Butterflies, I have no idea.
Yo, I'll look it up right now. What are your odds right here? Do you think they have lungs?
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. There's no way they're flying around without lungs. Come on.
I'm gonna go no lungs. I'm gonna go some like weird absorption thing where they just like oxygen seeps into them. Unlike people, I love how it starts off with that. Butterflies.
We have anything in common.
Butterflies don't have lungs.
They don't?
Monarchs breathe through tiny openings on the sides of their bodies called spiracles, which is hilarious because that's pretty close to your real name.
I'm not saying anything. My name's Chris. I don't know what you're talking about. But hold up. This seems like a major design flaw. What if it's like raining and water gets in your holes? Are you just like suffocating and you choke it out? What if like you like end up in mud or dirt? Like, do you just like let the elements fly into your body? Imagine if we had holes in the sides of our body and we were just, I would fucking throw shit in people's holes. I'd be poking holes. Can you imagine how irritating that'd be? I don't know.
We have ears. We got ears and nostrils, man. Those are like holes.
Bro, those holes are small enough to get away with. I don't know.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, this is weird, man. We're gonna have to investigate. They also don't have like a mouth. They have a system of tubes in their body called trachea that carries the oxygen.
Multiple trachea, just like.
Yeah, they just have like a system of tubes that carries it around.
So you just have holes in the sides of your body with tubes coming from those holes going straight. But how does nature even? I don't know.
No, Mother Nature is a cruel mistress, my friend.
Yeah, Mother Nature is weird, man. I don't know. There's some weird shit out there, man.
Amazing. All those door fans out there, look into it. Butterflies don't have lungs.
Butterflies, yeah.
So anyway, Scream of the Butterfly, really cool, like awesome kind of symbolism. One of my favorite lyrics by the Doors. So amazing. And then, yeah, this song, this is what I wanted to ask you about. This song takes like a weird turn. Like, you know, we're singing about the music, we're talking about butterflies and there are no lungs. Yeah, and then he's putting his ear to the ground, man, and he's listening to the earth, you know? Like, what's up with this part of the song? Is it kind of a reference to like, is it an environmentalist like kind of message, or you know, like what is he talking about necessarily when he's talking about what have they done to the earth? Yeah, what have they done, our fair sister, ravaged and plundered and ripped her and bit her? You know, it turns into like a weird, like a savage kind of depiction. Yeah.
Long story short, I think this is a bunch of hippie bullshit, probably. I mean, this dude's sitting here looking at oil rigs on the side of the ocean. I mean, he's probably like, oh, look at all the blood we're sucking from our mother. Like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, fuck off. Like, you gotta be kidding me. We're trying to make a living out here. This is ridiculous. Like, I feel like it's probably just in the culture that was, you know, the hippie culture. It's all about peace and love and just not using anything and being super, like, not wasteful, I guess. So I don't know. He probably bought into all that. I wouldn't look too deep into it. Sometimes the answers are simple. Plain and simple.
So when I found online, because I was kind of fascinated by this part, so apparently he had like a real fascination with like Native American like culture and like imagery. So like, yeah, you know, some hippie interest. Apparently, like when his family was traveling, like when he was a kid, they like ran into like dead Native Americans or something. I don't know. That's what they wrote in his like autobiography or his biography. So kind of interesting, you know, like putting their ear to the ground, listening for signs of death, kind of going back to like the existential theme.
Did he live near like a reservation at one point?
I have no idea, man. That's what I found online, that when he was moving as a kid in the car, they like came upon like dead Native American bodies, and like it set off this like interest from childhood. So kind of fun facts.
Interesting.
And then the finale of the song, you know, we're listening for death, you know, listening to when the music ends, and then he's talking about like the three apostles, you know. It's not the three apostles, the three kings, sorry. It's talking about Persian knights, you know, seeing the light, and then baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Weird turn, dude. Weird turn of events.
He's got a fascination with religion, dude. I mean, he's talking about, you know, rejecting heaven and just like being the bad boy, like doing all these fun things and like hanging around with all the, you know, the low lives. But I don't know, he's got an obsession with religion. I feel like that kind of ties into like the idea of like, you know, authority and order in life, which could be from his dad. I don't know, military father. I can't say too much about that, but it just seems like he was just trying to go against what order was in his life, or what order was supposed to be in his life that was, you know, placed upon him by his family. That's kind of the way that I looked at that.
Right. Like we kind of, you know, he's calling for this kind of like, you know, dance till the music's over, dance like you're on fire. Yeah. And then he's like calling for this chaos. And then we hear the butterfly scream, dude. After this butterfly scream, it's just chaos, man. Everything's upside down. And it's almost like a callback, like, oh shit, like butterfly screamed to like save us. Almost like this, like hoping for chaos. And then when chaos erupts, you know, this temptation to kind of get things back in order. And then the song just kind of ends, you know, he goes back to like the part. So I don't know, man. It's a 10-minute epic and it's really interesting, really deep. I'm not even sure if that was like the poetic interpretation he wanted, but
oh, we'll never know. The poor guy's dead.
True.
Died too soon, man. Died too soon.
Agreed. Any final comments on when the music is over?
No.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, this is the end of the episode. This one flew by real fast. A quickie, but a goodie, man. Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us today.
Thank you, Cooter. Yes.
That's our new. We gotta start a spin-off of Otoconia. It's just Chris and Cooter.
Chris and Cooter. Why does that rhyme so well? So one's a Starbucks name, one's a Popeyes name.
Yeah, we talk about sports and shit, dude, on Chris and Cooter.
Bro, I'm down to get it.
Coming this Tuesday. We should just watch sports in which we have no idea what's going on. Like find something like.
Oh, we could probably find something ridiculous. We could watch rugby, dude. Man. Rugby's a fucking mess. Have you seen that? It's literally just men with no pads just smacking the hell out of each other.
Dude, you're right. We don't need to look any farther than. Dude, all right. Chris and Cooter, sports we don't know. Our next show, man.
Oh, yeah. We got it in the works.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Any last comments for the people? Anything you want to get out there?
No. Just love music for what it is.
Well, thank you so much for doing it, man. Can't wait to get you on again.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Always good to talk to you, man.
Always good, brother.
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of Otoconia. We got really silly goosey on this one, so I hope you guys have fun.